Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB game scheduled for Sunday, September 29th, 2024. And if you like what you see, make sure to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Put your baseball picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets both in baseball and the NFL, you can find those at the premium picks tab at pickdawgz.com. There's also a link in the description. And also be sure to check out the NFL edition of Ron's Rundown. It's up right now. We had a nice week last week, so looking for another strong week in week 4. Now, I got to mention a few things before we get into the games. First off, this is the final day of the regular season. A lot of the playoff spots have been already locked up, and there are many teams today that are not playing for anything. Some teams playing for seeding. There are still a couple of playoff races going on in the National League. But because of that, a lot of these managers have not really announced much in terms of their starting pitching. There are 3 different games where there's no starters listed for either team. So we're not going to talk about those games in this video. That's the Mets and Brewers, the Braves and the Royals, and the Astros-Guardians matchups. But I will put a comment and pin it, in the comment section with updates to those starting pitching matchups. Also, just want to say thank you for all your support this year. It's the 3rd year of Ron's Rundown. It's been a great season talking baseball with all of you. I really, really enjoy it. So thank you so much for your support. The next Ron's Rundown is going to be on Monday night. So not going to do a video for the doubleheader on Monday between the Braves and the Mets, but we'll be covering that on Pick Dawgz and sportschatplace.com. Free pick articles, our YouTube videos on the channel, the live show, the drive-through. So make sure to check that out. But we will be doing playoff videos, of course, for Ron's Rundown. The next video will be Monday night. Alrighty, again, thank you so much for your support. Let's get into the games for the final day of the regular season. Next up, the Pittsburgh Pirates taking on the New York Yankees. Bailey Falter and Clark Schmidt are your starters. Bailey Falter, a left-handed pitcher facing a Yankees lineup that hasn't been the best against lefties in September, but I still think Clark Schmidt's the better option in this game. He's pitched well since returning from injury. The Pirates have really struggled in September against right-handed pitching, so I like the Yankees in the first 5 innings, but this, like many others, is not my favorite game on the board. Next up, the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the San Francisco Giants. We're going to see Michael McGreevy and Hayden Birdsong on the mound. McGreevy, I got to give credit to. He pitched really well in that game against the Rockies on September 24th. Now, on paper, 5 innings, 3 runs doesn't look the best, but for somebody making their Coors Field debut who only had 2 major league starts in general under their belt, that was a pretty impressive start with 5 strikeouts and a victory for St. Louis 7-3. The Cardinals have now won his first 3 games at the major league level. They've really backed him up in the run support department, scoring 27 runs in those games. But I think this game, we're going to see more of a low-scoring contest at Oracle Park. Birdsong's been pitching well recently. He's pitched better at home by far, a 3.67 home ERA at Oracle. So I'm going to go with the under here in San Francisco, St. Louis. Next up, the Tampa Bay Rays and the Boston Red Sox. Ryan Pepiot for Tampa, no official starter for the Red Sox. Pepiot, since returning from injury, has pitched very well for Tampa Bay, and he faced these Red Sox back on September 18th, had one of his best starts of the season and of his career thus far. 6 innings, only 1 run. He had 12 strikeouts with no walks, and I think he pitches well in this game. The Red Sox, really tough month for them offensively against righties in the month of September. I like the Rays in the money line in this game on the road. Next up, the Miami Marlins taking on the Toronto Blue Jays. Ryan Weathers for Miami, but no official starter for the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays had a solid month offensively against right-handed pitching, but not the case against lefties. Toronto, in the month of September, a 27% strikeout rate against southpaws with a .612 team OPS. I think Weathers, who actually pitched pretty well down the stretch, can put together a solid outing here. I mean, we know he struggled against the Dodgers on September 18th, but bounced back in a big way against the Twins in that last start. And it was against the Twins team that was still fighting for their playoff spot, now eliminated. But Weathers has pitched well on the road with a 2.12 ERA this season. Give me the Marlins in this one. Probably going to get a pretty good price with Miami. Next up, the Texas Rangers taking on the Los Angeles Angels. We're going to see Jack Kohanowitz, and for the Angels, no official starter for the Rangers. Now, Kohanowitz pitched against these Rangers back on September 5th, and while it was a quality start on paper, he did give up 8 base hits in 6 innings, a home run, and had no strikeouts in that game. So when you look at the expected numbers and the expected slugging percentage for the current Rangers hitters against Kohanowitz, they're not great for him. I think the Rangers can get to him for a few runs early, add a few on this Angels bullpen. Right now, I'm leaning towards the over and the Rangers on the money line and run line. Next up, the Baltimore Orioles taking on the Minnesota Twins. Bailey Ober for Minnesota, no official starter for the O's. We mentioned how disappointing the end of the season was for the Twins. Bailey Ober struggled at Target Field this season at times, and an ERA above 4 at home this season. In the last game against the Marlins, another home game and another loss for Minnesota, it was 5 innings, 8 base hits, and 4 earned runs for Ober, given up with a home run to go with it. The Twins have lost his last 4 starts. It's a tough spot. It's a lot of these games on Sunday. Like I said, these teams aren't really playing for much, but I think the Orioles are the play in this one on the money line. Next up, we see the Chicago White Sox taking on the Detroit Tigers. Jonathan Cannon for Chicago, no official starter for the Tigers. Cannon's been pitching pretty well in September. I mean, a 3.04 ERA in 23 2/3 in the month, right around a strikeout per inning to go with it. He did struggle, though, against these Tigers back on August 25th, where he gave up 5 earned runs, 4 walks, and 8 base hits in a blowout loss for the White Sox. And he also wasn't great against them on June 23rd. 1 inning, 7 base hits, 8 total runs, 5 of those were earned. So it does look like the Tigers have his number a bit. I would lean towards the under because I don't think Chicago does much of anything offensively, and the Tigers on the run line in this one. Next up, we see the Dodgers and the Rockies. No official starter for LA, but Ryan Feltner should be going for Colorado. Now, all you squares will have plenty of chances to back the Dodgers in the playoffs. The Rockies, their season ends today, and this is my last chance to take them at Coors Field. I'm going to go out with a bang. Give me the Rockies on the money line. Feltner's been pitching really well down the stretch. In all seriousnness, he has been pitching really well for the Rockies in the final month of the season. I mean, his last 4 games, 2 earned runs or fewer in all 4 of those starts, and the Rockies are 4-1 in his last 5 games overall. All those wins were against playoff teams, the Orioles, the Brewers, the Tigers, and the Diamondbacks are not a playoff team, but they're right in the mix. So this is a very, very tough stretch for Feltner. He's been able to pitch well a couple of those games at Coors Field. I think with the Dodgers, pretty much playing for nothing, might as well go with the Rockies in this one at a great price, getting a ton of value. So give me the Rockies in this one, my final chance to take them. Next up, we see the Athletics and the Mariners. No official starter for Seattle, but Mitch Spence should be going for Oakland. Spence has also been pitching well down the stretch of this season. He's got an ERA above 4.3 on the year, but his last 5 games, 2 earned runs or fewer in 4 of those 5. He wasn't his best in that last game against the Rangers, but it still ended up being an Athletics win. And the A's are 3-1 in his last 4 starts. I think the A's, this is a team I would look out for next year. This was a team that a lot of people expected to have the worst record in baseball yet again in 2024, but they competed. And, their offense was a lot better than expected. Their bullpen has a couple of nice pieces. Even the rotation improved quite a bit. If they can make a couple of moves, we know the A's are not necessarily known for making these types of moves in the offseason and, signing big-time players, but if they make a couple of moves in the offseason, pick up a couple of starters, maybe some bats towards the end of that lineup, this is a team to watch out for, in my opinion, maybe a similar team to the Royals of this year or the Tigers. So give me the A's in this game on the money line. Next up, the San Diego Padres taking on the Arizona Diamondbacks. Martin Perez for San Diego, no official starter for Arizona. I like Diamondbacks in this game. Perez has pitched really well for San Diego, and he's been a very profitable starting pitcher since joining the Padres, but he still has not pitched well on the road this season, and the Diamondbacks have hit lefties very well overall in 2024 and in the month of September. So in desperation mode, I got to roll the Diamondbacks in this game on the money line. Next up, the Cincinnati Reds and the Chicago Cubs. Hunter Green for Cincinnati, no official starter for Chicago. This is a tough one. I will lean towards the Reds in this game, but not my favorite game on the board. Hunter Green, his first start back from injury, he actually pitched pretty well. It was 3 innings, 1 run. He gave up 1 home run. So just really a mistake pitch there, but 4 strikeouts. He was, fine. I think he'll probably go 3 to 4 innings in this game as well. I think he pitches well, and I think the Reds can back him up for a few runs. In an overall low-scoring game, I like the Reds to win it on the money line to end the night. And that's it. Those are the games for Sunday in Major League Baseball. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe and put your baseball picks in the comment section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Romanelli. Good luck.